Hey, what's shaking, everybody? Let's see if we have any audio. Last time I started streaming, there was no audio. And then at the same time, I was running into both lag and I was running into, hey, what's up, guys? I was running into lag and I was not happy with the resolution. So I'm kind of trying to take a look at the resolution and see what we're dealing with here. Yeah, let's see here. It says HD, it says 1080. But I do not feel like I'm getting anywhere near the resolution that I want on this stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out what is going on with it here. Let's see. Because it looks like we're streaming really low in terms of how this thing looks. Huh. So how to adjust that? That is going to be the thing I try to figure out today a little bit and see why we can't get that resolution up. So yeah, I'm using OBS. I'm using a digital camera. And so what I want to try to do is, let's see if I can do this here. I'm going to stop my camera for a second. So bear with me. There we go. Look at that. So much better in so many ways. And now I'm going to go to camera. And let's see what we got here. I'm going to move from OBS virtual to the Razor. And let's see what that does. Does it want to allow me to do that? And then we're going to do this. Let me see here. Start cam. And now let's see if this does anything for me here. We've got a decent amount of lag happening there too. So let me see here. All right, let's see what that resolution is. Now, what am I using here? What's it say? Cam mic, yeah, it's doing the Razor here. Just seeing. What's our resolution looking like there? Playback speed. Yeah, it's not too great. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way I can up that a little bit because the resolution is not where I want it to be. That is a pain in the butt, guys. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure this whole thing out here and see how we can get that to be a little bit stronger. But I hope everybody's having a good evening and enjoying themselves. I'm going to be fooling around with this a lot over the next couple of days because what you're seeing is a shadow of what I am seeing right here. So I'm going to need to fool around with those settings to get us where we need to be. And so I'm going to switch cameras just so I can say hello to you guys and see who's in the chat. And we will go from there. I can't believe I go to do a test and you guys are here. Just amazing stuff. Oh, hey, what's up, Juju? I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's not the best, but it works. All right, fair enough. And yeah, I want it to be the best for you guys. Let me go through here. We got B Rose in the chat. Oz, Great Sage. Bullet Ninja Hagelman, it is good to see you. Jeremy Burtz, as always, it is a pleasure having you here. We've got Chauncey Blakely, or Blakey. God, I cannot pronounce anything to save my life. Lord Crackhead, yo. And we've got, let's see who else we've got here. We've got B Rose again, Leg Kick 1. Thank you for the recent sub. Stephen Rockwood, I feel like it's been a minute, brother. It's good to see you. And let's see, Jeremy Burtz. And I think we are, and the green laser is here. I think we're getting all caught up. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the stream resolution on this thing at this moment because it has been frustrating. The audio was my fault, but it was so frustrating to go back and look at these streams and see the resolution so low. And I'm trying to figure out what's my best option for sort of sorting that whole thing out. So we'll just play it by ear and we'll see where it goes. But thank you guys for popping in. Hey, what's up, Apex Comics? It is good to see you, my friend. We'll just see where it goes, and we'll play it by ear. Just going in and doing some detailing on this mask, and I was watching Michael's stream, which is always great. Enjoy watching that stream, and I have been unbelievably irritated as of late. Let me move the camera to where it actually needs to be. But I've been very irritated as of late watching all of the ridiculousness going on at DC Comics, particularly with Superman. And I'm definitely one of those people who comes down on the side without a doubt of not being able to back or support any of that stuff anymore because I just find it so completely infuriating what is happening with the pop culture, characters and how their custodians are treating them. So that's what I've been kind of been thinking about today as I've been, doing some writing, working in my sketchbook on this, just tightening up some of the layout pages. And then I come back to work on finishes right here. But I hope everybody's having a good evening and trying to get that stuff out of their mind. And thank you for everybody who joined me this morning. It was a pretty early stream for me, and I was a little bit surprised how many people showed up. But it's always a pleasure. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a good evening, and we'll just see how this stuff goes. I'm just looking at the lag, looking at the camera, and just kind of trying to get a sense of it, because some of this stuff really should be in better focus. But what are you going to do? Let me see here. I may have to get get some of my experts in here who know about OBS and StreamYard to help me with my tech and get it more to what we want it to look like. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how we do. So let's see here. So yeah, that's been pretty much the day of working on this stuff. I just saw a really great stream with a new creator who's launching his book. I was looking at Kelsey's launch, which is doing really, really well. Was excited to see that. And then I've been thinking about, what everybody's been talking about today. And one of the things that I was talking about earlier in the day on my stream was my passion for independent comics. And then in addition to that, we were talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Grips, and a lot of the stuff that I grew up on. And it just dawned on me that I might be a little bit more hardline on some of this stuff than some people are, but I'm really not. I'm not really supporting any mainstream, and well, actually, it's probably not true. I'm supporting Netflix definitely, but I just can't get into mainstream superheroes and mainstream properties like I used to anymore. And I think it's kind of an interesting thing. I don't say that from a standpoint of just the sense of, I don't feel comfortable backing that stuff. It's more that I'm losing my interest in it, which is wild. I use StreamYards like everyone else. Yeah, there you go. See, yeah, I use it too, and it's so funny because when I use it, it's I definitely think I got some slightly stronger. Visual results from Ecamm. I just couldn't have guests on. And now I've got this, and I think that there's a setting that I'm missing where I could get the visuals to be a little bit stronger as I work. Busy day for CG. Yeah, Billy Tucci's stream was good also today. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't caught Billy's streams lately. What was he talking about today? Was he talking about She, or was he talking about, the state of the comic industry? I shudder to think what he makes of all of this stuff. But yeah, there's been a lot of really great streams happening lately, and it's good to see. I think people are just needing to see some entertainment that's uplifting and interesting, and see some actual creativity, which is good to see. It's good to see everybody doing it. And we've got young up and comers coming into CG right now, and I think it bodes well for the future. But what's really weird is the sort of the vacuum of creativity, in terms of that people are seeing. I'm obsessed with that line of blood also acts as a panel border. Oh, well, there's going to be a lot more things like that. So I appreciate you saying so. I mean, for me, when I'm looking at that stuff, it's, that's how I think in terms of design. I always want things to have this really cool factor to the artwork. And so, it's nice when people notice it and sort of, enjoy the kind of fun quirkiness of the old DC comics and all of the, I mean, to be honest, I see a lot of this stuff happening in manga like Berserk and anywhere where comics are still a living art form. We play around a lot more with our panel borders because it is its own art form. It's not forced to always be a rectangle. And so, yeah, I'm trying to always push that stuff, and then trying to make something that I think is I don't know. I'm not trying to relive the past, I guess is the best way I could put it in terms of my work, even though I know there are elements of it that are a little bit nostalgic in terms of, pulp and all of the visuals that we use. But I'm definitely trying to make it very contemporary because that's the world I'm living in. I like our contemporary print processes, and I love, what we're able to do in the art form right now with publishing and print. I mean, it's wild to think of the advantages we have working today that people didn't have in the past, certainly as independent creators. And so, yeah, that's been a huge part of it. And sometimes we can go and make things look a little older and more weathered, and sometimes we can kind of mess around with it. Yeah, Noah launched yesterday, and he was on Bancroft tonight. Yeah, I was watching that. He did his first comic book at 14, which is insane. I mean, I did my first comic when I was 14, and did another one at age 16, and I it's wild to think about that. At some point, I should probably that would be really funny to take a look at his book on a stream and have it be and show my comic I did when I was 16, because I actually have the comic I did when I was 16 over there in the office, and I think his stuff would hold up really well next to it, man. It was some really solid stuff. Hey, what's up, Micro? How you doing? I was just going to mention Berserk. Yeah, absolutely. Is it innovative with that stuff? Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so much great stuff. Oh, Apex Comics says, yeah, I have Netflix too. I'm supporting more indies and Comicsgate books. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny. The best shows that I'm seeing, like Cobra Kai, I love. I'm watching The Witcher right now, which I also enjoy. Last good movie I saw to come out of a studio that I was really interested in was Dune. I thought Dune was just really artistically beautiful. I haven't read the books, so I want to state that I haven't read the books, so I can't really speak to how accurate it is. I tend to look at those movies, how do they work as cinema, and that movie was incredibly cinematic and really enjoyed it. And I even try to do that sometimes with where I know the source material and ask, like, how is this working as a movie if I hadn't read the books? And I do that a little bit with The Witcher because I have listened to those audiobooks and I love those books, but I think it could kind of stand on its own, as its own art form. So there is something to be said for that. But I've been watching that. Lots of really good shows out there right now, but it's when it comes to the corporate stuff, I will say there was a period where I was super into Marvel, and my favorite Marvel thing, interestingly enough, was a Netflix show. It was Punisher. I was really into the Punisher, and I like Daredevil too. But I'm a huge Punisher fan, so seeing their take, John Bernthal's take on Punisher, I enjoyed it for his approach. And now, I'm kind of a man without a country at this point. I mean, Comicsgate is where I'm getting most of my stuff, and I guess I feel a little bit more comfortable these days, right? I get into stuff more. I don't want to say when it's deliberately out there, because that's not the case. I do want some solid, mass appeal mainstream stuff, but I have an easier time getting into things like Cobra Kai, where I feel like the creators' hearts are in the right place. They're trying to tell a good story and they have respect for the source material. So that's a really big draw for me there in terms of that stuff. Yeah, The Witcher, that is. Yeah. It's I'm really trying to like the TV series, but they keep making the dumbest changes. Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of people. Hey, what's up, American Comics Company? Good to see you. Season 2 was disappointing for The Punisher. Yes. I didn't like season 2. So I couldn't get into it. I think Ben Barnes is a really great actor. I think he did a great job in season 1, and I could not deal with the changes to the character of Jigsaw. It really kind of reeked of actor vanity, that he didn't want to have his face scarred up for that. And when you watch what happened to him, it was so set up that his face was going to be absolutely mangled, and it took me out of the show. I just couldn't get into it. And it was that was such a big problem for me. When I saw the first look at him as Jigsaw, I was like, are they going to add more with CG? Like, what's the deal? He looks just like he looks like he was in a bar fight or something like that, like Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa got hit by a single broken bottle to the face, and he had the equivalent scars that Jigsaw had in that series after being, absolutely demolished. So yeah, that was a weird, that was something to where it's almost like, I feel like, get another actor or get him to do the voice. But man, he did not look like he lost the fight that I saw at the end of season 1. So I was at a loss for that one. And that was a bit of a disappointment. But we'll do a resolution test here, and also just a close-up for those of you guys who are watching this on the stream. Give it a second to focus a little bit, and you guys can see it. Yeah, good to see you as well. Look at all the people saying hello to everybody in the chat, and we gotta love that stuff. So yeah, this is what we're looking at when I'm designing Nosfero's mask. I've gotten to the point where I can pretty well, draw it out of my head. Every now and again, I'll check my drawings just to make sure that I've got what I'm going after for it. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You spend so much time with these characters, and you really start to get to know them, and they become your sort of favorite comic book characters. And when I'm looking at a book that's been really influencing my structure and my writing for this book in the last couple of weeks has been, funny enough, the first one-shot 40-issue Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And not for the tone and not for certain aspects of it, which is, it's a little bit different of a story, clearly. But is just the way they set up that entire world, and they don't overcomplicate it in 40 pages. It's hard to imagine that when you look at a lot of these first issues that come out, whether it's, God, I was just about to say Superman, and I felt my heart sink, guys. I really have to tell you guys, I was surprised at how much that bothered me today. Or yesterday when I was sort of learning about it and just kind of felt this kind of felt my heart sink a little bit, felt a little disgusted. But anyway, when I think about the creation of these mythic characters like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, well, what are you talking about? You're talking about 40 pages, start to finish, tell the story, and I'm looking for where this thing is. And the whole thing is out there. The whole thing works. So let me do this real quick, guys. Because let's zoom out and you can see my phone and my messy desk and all of this craziness. Okay, right here. Here's what we're going to do. Let's take a look at this, because I looked at it earlier today with really terrible audio by accident. So again, apologies to everybody who had to listen to my AirPods audio for this. But let's take a look at this thing, because I think it's kind of important to point out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 1. Everybody knows that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles property. Give me some ones in the chat if any of you guys are fans of it or grew up on it. Whatever it is, if you're remotely aware of this multi-million dollar, billion-dollar probably making franchise over the course of its existence. And let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about what it is, what we're talking about. Here's what we're talking about. Page 1. We introduce the Ninja Turtles. We introduce their weapon names, some of which people will know, some of which people won't know. I didn't know what size were. Oh, yeah, in American Comics, so he says, I can't bring myself to buy anything from that period. Yeah, Bullet Ninja's like, I've heard of it. I've heard of it. One page. Here are our characters. Now, this is a 40-page book. This is page 2 and 3. We've now burned 3 pages out of only 40 pages, which is not a lot of comic book. And I'm not saying it was a bad thing, but it's, let me give you a kick-ass double-page spread and this hand-lettered logo of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hold on one second. Let me do this. Put my phone down to weight it down, and I'm going to move this up even further. Let's see if we can get that to be a little bit, there we go, a little bit more easy for us to see. Tilt that down just a bit. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There you go. So we've got this. This is what we're dealing with here. So that's page 3. Now we're going to go to page 4. Page 4 sets up our gang, these randos that they're going to fight and take out. 1, 2, 3 panels. Really cool open panel with Raphael running. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're at 5 pages. So already we're an eighth of the way through the book, and we've just seen a couple of Ninja Turtles doing their thing and fighting. This series is where Bancroft learned to try hands. Oh my God. Yeah. Are we talking about the ginger root hand? It happens, right? And I love that hand, man. It's great. I got that, and I didn't even know that much about it in terms of the magnet. I missed that whole story. I just bought it on the strength of the book because I think the Lucent's amazing. You guys know that. I talk enough praise about the Lucent's, probably driving Bancroft crazy. So then we go to this page right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. It really shows, oh, we can get them. They can bleed. Yes, they can bleed, but so can we, blah, blah. And then we get 3 panels in text on this page. Lots of space for text. John Malin would be very proud of this book. And so now we get to page 8, and it's essentially them monologuing, and then 4 panels of them just leaving and going into a sewer, and then this is the kind of thing I'd love to see happen in comics more, and it's great, and I can do it, so I'm not gonna complain. I can make it happen. This is page 9. It's just a cityscape showing that they have vanished. Yeah, no kidding. You're absolutely right about Superman. That's just brutal, man. It's just so brutal. So now we get to page 10. By page 10 in this book, we're 10 pages into this book. We've met the Ninja Turtles. We've seen a great comic book fight scene because clearly it worked. And then they go to their secret lair where I never really noticed this before, but they've got bricks that slide open. So they have like a secret brick door, which is pretty comic booky for them. Like they have a sliding brick door to hide into, which a lot of people wouldn't think, is that in the first issue? Like they just walk into a sewer door, even in the movies, but they actually have that. And then they come in and they meet their rat mentor, Splinter. We're at page 10. This is like amazing pacing for quantity of storytelling in one book. When people say, well, the book's only this long, am I going to get a good story out of it? I think what people should compare their books to, if you want my advice, a good thing, or not my advice, if you want my opinion, I think is a better way of putting it. What I'm going to try to look to, and what I think a lot of people should look to, is not how many pages they can use to get to their story, but how much story they can tell in something like 40 pages, because it's a really good number. These guys are impressive. So here we get into this, and we get, 11, by page 11, you've already met Splinter. You're getting Splinter's backstory, and you're getting the backstory of the Foot Clan. So let's take a look at how many pages we get here. 11, the love rivalry between his master, his sensei, and then the rival master. And then the death of them. We're at page 13, so we're, 3 pages into this backstory. They flee to America. His younger brother grows up training in the art of ninjutsu, kills the master. We're at 5 pages in, and they really are pacing this on the 5s. It's like 5 page this, 5 page that, another 5 pages this. They've really got this spaced out really nicely. Shredder murders him, and then that's 5 pages, and then he's a homeless rat living in. That's right, Raphael. You absolutely, I can't wait for that panel, but you're absolutely right, Oz, great sage, absolutely. So now we get into the Daredevil origin story / Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles origin story, and we've got him living on the streets of New York. The mutation of the Ninja Turtles, them growing up, is 2 pages, guys. 2 pages of origin story. And this is where they really start stepping on the gas in the panels. Like the first couple pages, they were doing like 2 or 3 panels a page. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, look at that, guys. I mean, it's just like flying. But this is the cool thing. 1, 2, and then 3. Third page, we've got the lineup of the Ninja Turtles and their names. Here, look at that. Splinter's like, and here's their name. I taught them how to use their weapons. One wonders, when he's saying, I began training you and teaching you. So he's explaining to them their origin story. Isn't that convenient? Now Amato Yoshi. That's exactly right. And it's like a couple of pages, Mighty Geek Studios. I mean, this is crazy. And then you get this great single-page spread. I used to draw this when I was a kid. I was obsessed with this drawing of Raphael, my favorite Ninja Turtle. Everybody should know their favorite Ninja Turtle if you're a comic book geek and you like your Ninja Turtles. And you get to see him on 1 page. He goes and delivers a message. Now, Raphael delivering the message to the Shredder is as long as the entire Ninja Turtle origin story as it's shown, from the radiation, from the accident to the radiation to them growing up. Raphael just delivering the message to the Shredder, dropping the challenge, is that many pages. How completely bananas is that? I mean, that's just an incredible... God, the resolution you guys are seeing, I apologize. It is just horrendous, the resolution on this. I'm absolutely going to have to go into my settings and figure out what the heck is going on. Hang on a second. I'm dying to see this. 1 second. Here. Hotkeys, guest layouts, audios, camera. OBS, show advanced options, full high definition. I'm going to do 720 and see what happens and see if anything changes there. Because I'm really curious why the image quality is so weak. Did that just improve, or is it just me, guys? Let me know in the chat if the resolution did anything different just then. Do you guys see anything? Do you see any change happening right there? Let me know. Let's see here. Layout, hotkeys, audio, guests, camera. What do you guys see? Is that an improvement? Way better, isn't it? Were you seen? In this you must never lapse. Is it me or is that a little bit better? Yeah, I think that's slightly better than the absolute shit show that it was looking like before. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And it was terrible before. So yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but we'll keep doing our best to figure out what we can do with it and try to improve it. So yeah, so here you go. Here you've got, the shredder getting his note delivered to him. And that is the same amount of pages, more than those pages. Them climbing up to the top of the building to say shredder face us is 2 pages. I mean, to me that's absolutely bananas. That's what we're dealing with. Like, that's what we're talking about here. Let me just click on this here. Sharper bit. My site is a little left to be desired. Yeah, yeah. I think it looks a little bit better, but we'll keep chipping away at it here and see if it can focus. It seems like it's not having nearly as much trouble. So I'm thinking that the issue is with my settings in StreamYard. That's where I'm having the trouble. And so I might have to figure out what I need to do to strengthen that a little bit. So let me just see here. Let me see. Okay, there you go. Sorry, I was just checking in with my man Gabe here, who was telling me that we are on for tomorrow. But yes, to talk about Lethal Weapon on his channel. If you aren't subscribed, but we'll see where it goes. So look at this, 2 pages. It just goes to show you guys that when I know we all do this, but when I'm laying out pages, I always think I don't want to confuse that just because something is an important scene, it needs more panels, because there's something wild about, I didn't need many more images for that origin story for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it was kind of interesting. Them climbing up the building at night really gave it this sort of haunting quality. Bad again. I know. See, this is driving me nuts. Hold on a second here. Let me try something. This may cause us no shortage of problems. All right, let's see what happens here. This is going to take a second, guys. Let me know. Let's see. Okay, so that's still bad. It's still laggy. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to fiddle with this and see what the problem is with this stuff, because I feel like I may need to, unplug my router and try this again tomorrow, because I cannot, I'm going to still keep streaming, but I cannot figure out why it has been so horrendous lately. And it could just be the router. I think I'm having one of those things that Ethan ran into where the router was a problem. It's lagging. Like right now it's in focus because I'm not moving very much, but it seems to me like, let me just try to move it and see if it lags again. How's it looking to you guys right now? Is that any better or worse? Let's just see. We'll see how it does. How it do. Yeah, it still probably looks pretty bad. I'm just trying to see if how it struggles. Sharp now. See, it goes sharp for a little bit and then it gets crazy. So, I don't know. It's tough to say. It's not doing too bad. We'll have to see. But this is the thing about it, right, guys? I need pages like this. Looks better on your end. Okay, that's cool. It's not too bad. I'm going to keep trying until we figure out like how to get this thing better. It may take a couple of streams. And it may go in and out. I see it getting blurry again as it's struggling to although it's not as horrible as it was. It does have moments of clarity, much like myself. But yeah, this is the thing about it. I want those panels where you introduce a character, where you introduce somebody who is intimidating or intense. Then here's another double page spread fight scene. And just look at what they were able to accomplish with this. You know, I mean, it's crazy to see what they were doing. And we're at page 29. By the time you get to page 30, and again, they're ending on the 10, it's like 5, 10, 15, 20. That's how they're pacing out their scenes. I tend to do that as well. I tend to think in terms of 5s and 10s and break things down that way. Then they go into face the shredder, and we're at page 31. So we're starting on the next 10. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of this fight scene here. Just really great close-ups. Talk about their strategy. They beat the shredder on page 37. They take him out on page 38. 39, they kind of lament his passing as they leave. And then we've got our little final image right there of them walking away, doing that. We are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We strike hard and fade away into the night. And Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird believed this was the last time they were going to be doing anything with these characters. And then you get to where we are right now, which is so many decades later and so much work that's been done on this property. So now that I've got this thing out of the way, let's do this. Let me take a look and see what my own artwork looks like, if there's any improvement there in terms of how it's looking. And it may take a little while to focus. I don't know what kind of shape it's going to be in, but let's see. It's a little better. It's got further to go. Yeah, I mean, it is. You're right. It absolutely is, such a legend, and Eastman is such a legend. You're right. And when I look at this kind of stuff and I think about what I'm doing in the story, I'm always thinking about, like, when I map in these sections of the story that I'm doing, I'm always thinking about how many panels do I need? Is her look in this moment the most important thing? I'm introducing a lot of different things. I'm introducing Phantomas, this dog coming into the scene. Like, how do I make this dog, be very clear to the viewer? And how do I give them enough panels to understand that? How do I set up the world? How do I set up the major players? Every page involves something. But by the time you get to, I'd say, page 15 in this book, you've been introduced to some serious players in this story. And you've got introduced to what the stakes are. But everything really hinges around this book. Everything hinges around this story. That of them trying to put this, the villains trying to get a hold of the entirety of this book. And they know where the rest of it is. And they keep trying to do things to bring these creatures into the world, but they're missing pages. They're so desperate to bring about this apocalypse that it hasn't even dawned on them, that there's a futility to it. But all of a sudden, this character, Nosfero, who's, protecting this stuff and trying to keep it away from them, he finds himself with a vulnerability, with a kryptonite. And that is our girl Laurel. And once I got that, aspect of it figured out, once I brought her into the mix and understood what her role was in this story, that was everything, And so getting her sorted out into this story has been, the biggest part of all this stuff that I'm doing, So that's where we're going to be going forward, guys. And so, for me, as I'm writing this story, I just wanted to take a second, one, to test the stream out. And I'm going to be doing a lot more tests on it because I'm really not happy with how the resolution's coming together right now. It's not awful. It's a little bit better, but I think I have to unplug that router, plug it back in. I just think it's got too much something going on it. Yeah, you got to do that every now and again. I haven't done it in a while. But this lag is just completely ridiculous. Although, I mean, again, it doesn't look terrible now. But it could be a lot better. So you know how it is. You guys know how it is. Yes, the Lumen. Oh yes, of the Nosfero universe. You seriously, you're not far off. And that's kind of what it is for me when I'm looking at this stuff is, putting together the artwork and the story in such a way that when you're reading it and you're going through these pages, I want it to have that same feel where the entire universe. You understand these characters, you understand this world, and you understand what the stakes are, you understand what the fights are. And, I look to all different kinds of artwork, but sometimes it's not how great the painting is. Sometimes it's how great the pacing is. And I think that book for introducing you to a superhero world, if you look at, oh, thank you, Us Great Sage. I appreciate that, man. There are so many more pages coming, and I'm looking at the layouts for them, and I'm really excited. The thing that I want to make sure I stress here, though, too, for all of you guys back in the book and getting the word out about this book, which I so appreciate, guys. I really do. I'm hoping that we hit 20K, and I'm going to be doing a ton more work on these streams, and also just making sure that I can get the best picture I can possibly get for you guys in terms of seeing the artwork as I work, because I know that's a huge part of this process, is getting to see how it goes and how I paint the pages. But I'm really thinking about what I love about superhero stories, because this is an origin story of a sort. I mean, it's certainly an origin story in the sense that you're going to learn the origin story when you're reading this story. Just like in Ninja Turtles, you don't get to see all that stuff happen, but you do get a look and see where they came from and how they came to be. And as I look at that stuff, I just think what you can do in a short amount of story, how much story you can give, something that makes you, there wouldn't be a second issue of that book if the first book hadn't just captured the imagination of people. That's a pretty high bar, but I think that's a great bar to shoot for. And I mean bar in the sense of reaching a bar, not drinking at a bar, although I kind of feel like that might be my next phase of the evening tonight. But I think about that stuff a lot, and I think that sometimes we can easily lose sight of the fact that how much comic book artists from a certain generation, a certain time period, how much story they could give us, and how complete of a story they can give us in a single short story. And I guess I've been thinking a lot about when people back these books, I wanted to have the same feeling I had when I got, my first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, oh, great. I'm glad you like it, man. I've been working like crazy on this stuff, guys, and I love it. It's so fun. Michael was saying it on his stream, and I feel the same excitement for the Lucent, but we get up in the morning and we're just like, or we go to bed late at night and we're just like, I'm loving working on this. I'm so excited about where this story is going, but I really want there to be, even though they didn't know they were going to want that villain later, they killed the Shredder in the first book. They wiped, Hamato Yoshi was killed in the story, and by Oroku Nagi, I think it was. Oroku Saki was his younger brother. That was a change from the origin story for the movies and everything else. And they gave us a lot of stakes. You knew these people would kill. You had the Shredder was a ninja, but he also used grenades. They had, firearms that they were fighting gangs, with guns. I mean, it was an intense little story for people who were reading comics at the time. And I just go back to it. I'm like 40 pages. I don't know how many pages it took for us to fall in love with the Rocketeer. I think it was 1/8. Not that this is what you're getting, but I think the concept of the Rocketeer was so appealing. It took people 8 pages of that first short story to be dialed into the Rocketeer. And I think that's just one of the things that really inspires me as a comic book artist, and really inspires me when I'm doing my work is I want to tell a story that you guys just get sucked into and are like, I'm a Nosfero fan. I love this. I cannot wait to see Nosfero's next adventure. And I feel like I've been through this experience with him. I've read the story of him and these characters, and I'm involved. Now, obviously, it's you can't ever guarantee and say to people, oh, well, this is going to be, none of us are going to come out and say, I mean, well, we'll say it in terms of enthusiasm. This is going to be the next big thing. This is going to be the next thing. But, it's that amazing magic that happens between you guys and us, where you get the book, you read it, and you feel a connection. And you guys are so involved. Got to pass out. Yeah, Admiral Wackass, get some sleep. You and I have been doing this all day, I feel like. Thank you so much. And yeah, have a great night yourself. And but I want this book to feel like you're reading the first issue of a supernatural superhero book, and with all of the cool trappings of those worlds, and that it feels like a complete and contained story. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. Guys, thank you so much. Do feel like this test has been incredibly helpful for me. I've seen that the screen looks a lot better right now. It looks like we're getting some decent reception. It's not as good as I want it to be, and I'm going to try to figure out what that is. So I'll be doing more of this stuff tomorrow. And thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jeremy. Seriously, you guys are awesome, and you guys, You guys are what's driving me on all this stuff. And thank you guys for continuing to support the book and get the word out about it. You guys have been amazing. Yeah, it does. It looks cleaner now, and I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it even better. You guys have helped me to figure out, just how we can make this thing happen. How we can make this thing look better and get our work where we need it to be. And I think that, if we just keep doing this and we keep getting our stuff out there, we're going to make probably in my opinion, we're making the best, greatest movement in the history of independent comics. I really do believe that. And the reason I believe that is because it's so much more open to different people coming into it. And this is the kind of book to where, I have to promote this book myself. I have to put it out there. I have to put those hours in, just like all of us are doing. And it's huge, and absolutely NTM. It's great to see you, by the way. And it was great seeing you in that launch. We got to talk comics at some point, my friend. We had a similar start in terms of when we started this whole thing. So I think we should do that sometime. I think it would be really fun and be a blast, and yeah, absolutely, Oz. Yeah, hail NTM. And guys, I am going to go pack it in because I'm wiped out. I've been up, since early, and I'm working, late, and I just want to make sure I can still hold my hand steady. But when I get up tomorrow to do work, but we're going to do more tests, and you guys are going to be here with me. And I promise you guys, excellent, Lord Crackhead. Thank you for getting that in the chat, Jeremy. I appreciate it, brother. Everybody go check out that link. Back that comic book. Keep backing Comicsgate. You guys are the best. Love you all. Let's just keep doing this stuff. All right, guys? I will talk to you guys soon. And take care, everybody. And we're going to have a good one. All right. Peace, everybody. And remember, too, as well, make sure that you're staying gold, because that is what it's all about. Absolutely enjoy yourselves. Here you go.
Here's a little something for you busters. Yeah.
You're not even learning anything on the street.
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid, son?
Yeah.
See what I'm trying to say to you, boy?
Yeah.
Do you?
What's up with that?
Look at me, damn it!
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack. What's up with
You
that?
smoke crack, don't you?
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
Look at me, boy!
Hey to
You
you,
smoke crack, don't you?
don't even smoke crack.
You know what that does to you? Huh? You smoke crack, don't you?
Smoke crack.
Go on and do it expeditiously.
What's up with that?
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
Don't even smoke crack.
No guts, huh?